Hello, everybody. How's it going out there? I'm Meg from Maison Jupiter and Beyond Mystic, and welcome to your weekly Beyond Astro forecast here on the Beyond Mystic 3 YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and happy eclipse season, happy Scorpio season, and happy spooky season, Halloween and Samhain. Wow, we've got a lot going on. We've got a lot to celebrate and a lot of energies to talk about. So we're going to get all into it in this Beyond Astro today. And I'd love to hear from all of you out there how you're doing being in an eclipse season. We're in between the two eclipses of October 14th and October 28th. As I'm filming this video, it's October 25th today. And we're just a few days away from this October 28th full moon lunar eclipse. And I don't know about all y'all out there, but I am really, really feeling it intensely. Let me know how all of you are feeling out there. I hope you're doing very, very well. Happy birthday to all the Scorpios out there. We have entered Scorpio season, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. And yeah, lots of stuff going on. So before we get into any specifics, just want to share a couple things with you guys. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the Beyond Mystic 3 YouTube channel. We got so much awesome magical content on here. Just had a cool new wacky woo yesterday with J Snip4, JC, and Penny Kelly. Lots of magical things. So make sure you're subscribed. And if you really enjoy our content, like and comment really helps us out. And also, I am offering one-on-one personal astrology consultations, and those are available over at maisonjupiter.com. And I think my availability right now is starting in December at the moment. And I'm currently offering 1-hour birth chart astrology readings, going deep into the magic and meaning of your sacred birth chart with you, and also yearly personal forecast. That's a really good one to be doing at this time of year, looking at your year ahead as we're coming into the end of a Gregorian calendar year, stepping into a new Gregorian calendar year, 2024, to look at that year ahead. And we, as always, have discount code all in one word, Beyond Mystic, to get 10% off your next reading. So if you'd like to have a personal consultation with me, I love to be of service with the astrology and share your astrological info with you. Oh my goodness. So yeah, lots going on. We're going to talk about this eclipse coming up on Saturday. We're going to talk about Scorpio season, and we're going to talk about Samhain, Halloween, lots going on. So first of all, we are now in Sun in Scorpio season. So the sun entered the sign of Scorpio on October 23rd. For about the whole next month, we're in Scorpio season, and Scorpio is the most intense sign in astrology. It rules the mysteries of life and all that is hidden and beneath the surface, and really things that are really in depth energetically, things that are mystical and magical, and our psychic abilities as well. Scorpio is one of the water signs. And it's interesting because Scorpio is traditionally ruled by the planet Mars, which is also Aries' ruler. But in modern day astrology, it's modern day ruled by Pluto. So Scorpio is one of those signs that is the only sign ruled by Pluto, which is the planet of transformation, the dark side of life, secrets and what is hidden, and real deal spirituality and spiritual gifts. But it's also co-ruled by Mars, which is energy, passion. It's very fiery. It's action oriented. So when we're in Scorpio season, it's a time where the veils are very thin. It's the time of the year around Halloween in particular when the veils are at their thinnest. And so we're even more perceptive and intuitive than usual. We can do a lot of really amazing spiritual, magical, psychic work and divination. And so it's very magical for any kind of practices. It's easier for us during Scorpio season to connect with our ancestors, to those on the other side, our spirit guides, and our higher selves. So any spiritual practices are great to do during Scorpio season. And Scorpio is the sign that rules death and decay and letting go and cleansing. So it's a time where we're stepping into the winter. The winter is coming, as they say in Game of Thrones. And, we're entering this period of kind of death in nature coming into the winter time. And because Scorpio rules death, it's very connected to our ancestors. So it's a really good time of year, if it resonates with you, to honor your ancestors in some sort of way during Scorpio season, to connect with them spiritually. Or I always like to make an ancestors altar. In my room here, I put pictures of my ancestors that are crossed over, flowers. I put things on the table that they would have liked, certain foods or drinks, and just connecting with them and honoring them. It's about our ancestors' death and renewal and transformation, and also our shadow side. So this is a very actually intense Scorpio season, more intense than some others, because we're having an eclipse on October 28th, which I'm going to share the chart in a moment. But Scorpio is already the most intense sign, Sun in Scorpio season, and to have an eclipse during Scorpio season makes it even more intense. And it's a full moon lunar eclipse in the opposite sign of Scorpio, which is Taurus. So we're in a phase for really the whole next week to 2 weeks from when I'm filming this video of purging, releasing things from our shadow side, or things that we've been hiding personally and collective, really coming up to the surface for acknowledgement and healing. So it's also a really great time, this Scorpio season in particular, to be doing any kind of healing work that resonates with you. Scorpio in particular rules psychotherapy, therapy, cleansing, doing cleanses, which is a theme with this eclipse that we're going to talk about, as well as what I like to call real deal spiritual practices. So doing shamanic healing ceremonies, or, things that you really face yourself. It's not just mamby-pamby, like, I'm going to call on the angels and all of my dark side is going to be gone. No, it's where you really face yourself. You do mirror work. You do shamanic cleansing ceremonies, or, there's all kinds of different things. But put in the comments below what some of your favorite real deal spiritual type of cleansing practices are. Doing like a silence retreat, doing silence, doing getting off of social media, getting off of any technology. That's very Scorpionic, intense, and having to face yourself and what's really going on. So yeah, I'm going to share the chart for this eclipse that we're going to have exactly on Saturday, October 28th, full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, 5 degrees of Taurus. So you're going to want to check out, if it resonates with you, see where you have 5 degrees of Taurus in your birth chart to see what house 5 degrees of Taurus falls in, and any planets that you have in Taurus, or if you have a planet exactly Taurus 5 degrees, or within, 5 degrees on either side of that. You are getting very activated for this eclipse. You're going to feel it very intensely for not just this eclipse season, but actually for the whole next 6 months. We're going to be in the influence of this eclipse. So just to show you guys, and I know that I do this sometimes in the Beyond Astros, but I get questions about it a lot. So if you bring up your birth chart, no matter what astrology program it is, you're going to see in the outer part of the chart. So in my Astro Gold program, it's the outer gold yellowish rim. These are the chart rulers, okay? Over each of the houses, we have a chart ruler. And you're going to want to see where you got the symbol in your birth chart for Taurus. That's Taurus, the circle with the half circle on top, the symbol for the bull. So in this chart in particular, Taurus 5 degrees falls in the second house. So the areas of life that, if this were someone's chart that I was looking at, that I would be looking at, I would be saying the areas of life that the second house rule are very activated for you right now and highlighted now and for the whole next 6 months. And it's actually very in alignment to be focusing on those areas. So in this chart, Taurus 5 degrees falls in the second house because the second house starts in this chart 0 degrees Taurus and ends Gemini. 0 degrees, the next sign in astrology. So the chart rulers move counterclockwise. So I hope that makes sense how I explained that, you guys. I know we get a lot of questions about that. You guys asking, how can I find Taurus 5 degrees in my chart? So hopefully that helps. But wherever you have Taurus, it is super highlighted at this time. And this is where we can really be feeling the effects of this full moon. Taurus, sun, moon risings in particular are going to be feeling this eclipse the most, as well as the other fixed signs, which are Leos, Scorpios, and Aquariuses. So if you're a Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, or also the other fellow earth signs to Taurus, which is Capricorn and Virgo, you're going to be feeling this a lot more than some of the other signs. And of course, we have to look at the whole chart because maybe you're not one of those signs, but then you have a bunch of planets in Taurus. So we have to look at everything, but just generally the fixed signs and the earth signs are going to be impacted by this eclipse the most. And anyone having a birthday 5 days before or after or on the day of an eclipse is going to be having an eclipse solar return, an eclipse birthday year coming up. And when we have our birthday on or around an eclipse within 5 days before or after, it's going to be a great year of change, big life changes. And with this being a full moon lunar eclipse, there's something coming to a completion point if your birthday is around this eclipse for the whole next birthday year. And there's something being very illuminated in your life because full moons tend to illuminate things. So as I said, this eclipse will be an influence for the whole collective, not just for us personally, but the whole collective for the next 6 months to a year. And what's interesting is the path of visibility for this eclipse is completely visible over Europe and most of Asia and Africa. So these areas of the world are going to be more impacted by this eclipse in particular, more so than other areas, but the whole world will be feeling it. But Europe in particular, we're going to talk a little bit about the astrology of Europe, is definitely, I think, going to be probably the hot spot when it comes to this eclipse and the themes around the chart of it for the next 6 months, because all of Europe is in the path of visibility, as well as, well, I guess I'll just say it right now. The European Union's birthday is November 1st, I believe 1994. I might be wrong with the year, but regardless, November 1st is the birthday or solar return of the European Union. So the European Union is going to be having an eclipse solar return. And the European Union's chart, I don't have it here. Let me see if I can bring this up. Just one sec, you guys. Here it is. The European Union's chart is not a normal chart. They've got lots of Scorpio going on, which is very, very intense. It's already a very, very intense chart. So they're going to be having an eclipse solar return. The European Union is also right at the end of their their first Saturn return. So they had their Saturn return first Saturn return, which is very hard, from March 2020 to March 2023. But at the exact time of the eclipse on October 28th, Saturn will be at 0 degrees Pisces, so only 7 degrees off of the exact Saturn return point. So still going through the Saturn return a bit, the European Union, as well as, if that is not intense enough, in the transit astrology for the European Union, transit Uranus is pretty much exactly conjunct the natal moon of the European Union in Taurus. And this eclipse is happening in Taurus. So what is Taurus all about? Taurus rules our physical resources, money, the financial system. And so particularly Europe is there's going to be changes with the financial system during this eclipse season, also for the whole next 6 months. I saw somewhere online the other day that the European or Euro CBDC is going to a next level. They're entering the next phase, as they called it. That got released, I think it was this week or last week. So there's big changes happening in the financial system of Europe. And I feel like whatever the, be careful what I say here on YouTube, because we're streaming YouTube and Rumble, whatever the bad guys out there want to do for the world, I think they're going to try to do it in Europe first. That's my astrological interpretation in terms of the financial system. So we're probably going to see a lot of protest happening in Europe, a lot of uprising happening, because they're going to try to, in the very near future, over the course of the next 6 months to a year, make a change to the financial system having to do with CBDCs and digital identity and all that kind of stuff. And Uranus exactly conjunct the moon. You know, Uranus has to deal with technology and new innovation, and it's in Taurus to the money. So pretty clear what's going to be going on with Europe coming up. But yeah, so very, very intense in that way. So yeah, for the whole collective, with this eclipse being in Taurus, for us personally and the whole collective, it's about our physical resources and our values. That's what Taurus rules in astrology. Our values, our physical resources, the enjoyments and the pleasures of life. And the moon, what's interesting, is actually exalted in Taurus. So the moon's second most favorite place to be, other than its home sign of Cancer, is Taurus. So it's actually a very positive place for the moon. And we do have, at the exact time of the eclipse, just bring this up here so I can show you, Jupiter in a medium to light strength conjunction to the moon. So even though we got a lot of intense things going on, we've got the sun is in Scorpio, Mars is at home in Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio, Pluto square the nodes, Saturn in Pisces, 0 degrees, 4 planets retrograde, Venus, you know, at fall in Virgo, the ruler, Venus is the ruler of the sign of Taurus at fall in Virgo. There's a lot of actually tension in the chart for this eclipse, but at the same time, it's important to remember the moon is exalted in Taurus. It likes to be there, and Jupiter is conjunct it. So I feel like we have to go through this intense period of the next 6 months to a year to come into that beautiful Taurian way of enjoying life and the pleasures of life and the new stable systems that are going to be created. But it may not be super comfortable. I was saying on the Divine Feminine Oracle show last night that I think this is really interesting, that this is going to be the last eclipse that we have in the Taurus-Scorpio axis. And we've been having eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio since 2021. And Taurus is the most stable, grounded sign. And when we come into 2024, Pluto moving into Aquarius fully, a lot of really interesting conjunctions, Uranus conjunct Jupiter, a lot of really interesting things. 2024 is going to be the year where we start to actually step into this new earth, this new world, these new systems we've still been living in. Even though we've been in this craziness since 2020, we've still been living in the same financial systems, mostly the same structures of life. We're about to see it all change. So we're in the last period of comfort and what has been known to us our whole lives. So this is a big one. And this is where, like, for me personally, and I am a Taurus rising, so I am feeling this eclipse very strongly, but we're going to be purging and releasing. And for some of us, we may be feeling that in the physical body. For others, it'll be more emotional or mental. So if you're feeling more sensitive than usual over the next couple of weeks, physically, emotionally, mentally, totally normal. Take more time for self-care. Taurus is one of those signs that rules self-care. So eating good food, listening to uplifting music, going out into nature. Taurus rules nature. Drinking good water. It's very, very important for us to be taking care of our physical bodies around this eclipse because the energy is so intense and we're releasing a lot personally and collectively with this before we enter 2024 and the huge shifts that are coming with that, with Pluto fully going into Aquarius. So yeah, as I said, Venus is at fall in Virgo and is going to be at a Virgo degree. So our physical bodies are very highlighted. And I've been seeing a lot of the comments of the videos, people saying they're feeling strange things in their body, weirder than usual, totally normal. So important for us to just be gentle with ourselves. And the sign of Taurus, some of the other things that Taurus rules, other than our values and money and the enjoyments of life and all that, Taurus rules wealth, luxury, forests, trees, nature, food, our voices, our throat, singing, money, I said that, the banks, and beautiful landscapes. So those are going to be all very highlighted areas during this eclipse. And also this eclipse is happening at 5 degrees, which is interesting. This is a Leo degree. So there's a release, because it's a full moon eclipse, release and illumination happening not just with Taurian themes, but also the things Leo rules. And Leo rules leaders, strength and powerful people, royalty, rock stars, actors, performers, artists, high schools, having fun, how we have fun in life, how we celebrate, athletes, our ego, children, creativity, and the entertainment industry. So a lot being exposed in those areas of life, illuminated and cleansed out for sure over the course of the next 6 months. And yeah, let me know how you guys are feeling. I know it's a lot of information I'm throwing at you guys about this eclipse, how you guys are feeling. So overall, this is bringing changes to our financial system and our overall structures and comforts of life. This eclipse can be potentially highly dramatic, as it is at a Leo degree with a Scorpio stellium and Venus conjunct Black Moon Lilith. So there's likely to be either on the day of the eclipse or around it, or the months within the influence after, scandals, shocks, and surprises, dramatic things coming up having to do with people in leadership positions, particularly sex scandals, because we're dealing with a lot of Scorpio energy. And yeah, so super intense, you guys. I'm just hearing Spirit say, remember to drink a lot of water. Drinking water, taking deep breaths, meditation, being in Taurus, acting like a Taurus, moving slow, not rushing, not overexerting yourselves, because our bodies and our minds are definitely going through a lot with this eclipse. So I want to mention as well that we're going to be having a Taurus full moon eclipse meditation with the magical and amazing Elena and Janine, and this is going to be happening today, the day I'm recording this Beyond Astro Forecast, October 25th at 3 p.m. Eastern. So you can go to beyondmystic.academy to sign up, and whether you want to take part live, you can do that, or there's also going to be the replay option available as well. And the theme for this eclipse meditation is welcoming newness and receiving blessings. So we will manifest the most positive outcomes with this lunar eclipse together. And thank you so much, Elena, Janine, and Julie, for hosting this. It's really powerful, the meditations that they do, and a really great way to work with the eclipse for sure. So, okay, before we finish up here, we're going to pull some cards, but before I do, I want to mention Happy Halloween, Happy Samhain. Have a blessed Samhain, everybody. So Halloween is something that is a very, very sacred, holy day, holy holiday coming from my personal ancestry, the Celtic peoples. This is when Samhain means summer's end, when the summer's end. And the veils are at their thinnest because we're in between the summer coming into the winter. And it's the time where we're embracing, death, nature going through a death, and us going through a death and a letting go and a rebirth. And we can connect to our ancestors a lot easier during this time. We can do magical practices very effortlessly at this time. And it's about giving gratitude for the abundance of the harvest that we've had during the fall, during the autumn, and being grateful as we step into the colder months in the Northern Hemisphere, into the winter. So it's a very magical holiday, and it is something that is not an evil thing. There's some people out there, forces out there, that try to invert it. But what Samhain is, Halloween is at its core, is a very sacred holiday about embracing magic and honoring the veils being at their thinnest and honoring our ancestors in this very special season where we're in between. We're in an in-between. So it's very, very special. And before we finish up, I want to pull some cards to see what are our messages for this week with this eclipse, with us being in Scorpio season, Samhain. This is interesting. I'm going to ask our ancestors. I'm going to ask our ancestors for guidance. What divine guidance do all our ancestors, of everyone watching this, have to share with us? And I'm going to pull from my Halloween deck. Wow. Oh my gosh, this is so interesting. I keep getting this card every time I pull from this deck, the werewolf card. So that's the last card. So I'll get to that in a sec, but this is beautiful. The lamp card is about remembering our ancestors. So our ancestors are saying, yes, please connect with us, light a candle for us, have a feast for us, tell the stories about us, meditate with us, call upon us for strength and guidance, because we are here and we want to bring light into your life. We want to bring joy into your life. This is making me feel emotional because I can really feel our ancestors wanting to bring us light, and they know that we're going through a challenging time right now. They know that the energy is challenging, and they're saying, we are around you, we walk with you, we cry with you, we laugh with you, we live through you, and please call on us for support, for wisdom. This was the other card we got, the owl, wisdom, and for guidance. So, okay, I asked the ancestors to come through. This is literally the ancestors card in the Halloween deck. They're saying they're here, and call upon them. Do whatever ancestral practice resonates with you, whether that's just speaking to them out loud, making an ancestors altar, going to their old homes or going to the lands that they're from, looking at pictures of them. They definitely want to connect with us and have wisdom, strength, and light to share. And they're saying the path ahead is so beautiful. You are so blessed to be alive and conscious at this time. It seems challenging right now for a lot of us, but it's actually the greatest blessing to be alive at this time on the earth. So they're like the energy of our ancestors. They're surrounded by light and joy, and it makes me feel emotional. They're saying that the light is winning on the planet, and just keep going, keep being positive, keep being in play, keep being in gratitude, keep dancing. There's an energy of celebration coming from our ancestors. We're entering the age of Aquarius. They're saying this is something to celebrate. So, wow, they have a lot of light and love to share with us. And we've also got the werewolf card, which I keep pulling this every time from this deck, and it's exploring wildness. So another way that we can work with the energies of this week, and I know we share this message a lot, go out into nature, howl at the full moon like a werewolf, ow, howl to the moon, get wild, dance under the moon, take your shoes off, do some earthing, connect to your wild side, to ground into the energies, to connect to the earth, and to be in magic. I don't know about you guys, but some of the most powerful moments in my life have been when I've been with like-minded people on retreats or gatherings, and we've been barefoot and singing and drumming. Those have been the most magical moments of my life. So maybe going to a Halloween or a Samhain event, or doing something outdoors as well, connecting to our wild side. So that's so cool. We keep getting that werewolf, and there's a full moon behind the werewolf. Love it. So thank you so much to our ancestors for that beautiful support. And thank you to all of you for supporting us here at Beyond Mystic, and for being magical, for being awesome. And never forget that we are made of our ancestors. They are always with us, and they are always available for us to speak to, for us to connect to. And this is the magical time of Samhain to do so. And also before I finish up, just want to say again that if you'd like to have a one-on-one astrology consultation with me, those are available over at maisonjupiter.com. And also tomorrow, we're going to be having our third Astrology Foundations live class, where we're going to talk all about Taurus, the sign of Taurus, the archetype of Taurus, and each of the planetary positions in Taurus. So if you still want to join in on our Astrology Foundations course, you're more than welcome to. It's available over at beyondmystic.academy. The link is going to be below in the description of this video. And even if you're not able to take part in the live classes, the replays are available until the end of time. So you can take part in the live classes or the replays. And we're having so much fun doing that course. It's a pleasure sharing the astrology with all of you. So wishing you guys the most magical week ever, the most magical Samhain, Halloween, eclipse, Scorpio season. I'm sending so much love and magical blessings your way, and we'll see you next week. Bye.